Hi,
Blog Talk Radio.
everyone. Oh, yep, I do that all the time.
Blog Talk Radio.
Sorry about that. Okay, hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Camille Show. Today, I have a wonderful co-host. Her name is Lynn. She's also my mom. And our topic is Whitney, going to be on the movie Whitney. It's our movie review. And we're going to try to get these done every Monday at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time and 7, it's going to be 7 even Eastern Time. Okay, so this would be our movie review day. This biographical film was made in 2018 by the director Kevin MacDonald. It is about the beautiful vocalist in entertainment who we were introduced to, I think, all over the world at 19 years old. The cast is made up of her daughter, her only daughter rather, Kevin Costner, family, friends, professional musicians, and employees. This is about the world of Miss Whitney Houston by those who are left here to tell us about it. And that's our introduction. Okay, so me and my mom watched Whitney, and we wanted to chime in about the way the movie was put together, a lot of its content, and about the vocalist herself. Keep in mind, please, these are all opinions. All right, and we also encourage you to leave your opinion about the movie in our comment section, okay? Here on Blog Talk Radio, and the show is Coffee Chat with Camille. Also, you can view the movie or film on YouTube, okay? You can either buy it or I believe it's for free for some. All right. So, Mom,
yes,
question.
Well, first of all,
right,
let me tell you how delighted I am that you invited me to co-host and to review the movie with you.
Thank you. Oh, you're so lovely. Thank you for being my co-host and guest. I'm so happy. So, all right. So let's start out. What did you think of the film? If you want to let me know.
I thought, I've seen several of these because as a huge Whitney Houston fan, I still follow anything that comes out about her or anything I see that's on YouTube. And I was rather surprised that I had not already seen this video. Therefore, I called you up almost immediately and said to you, have you seen it? And I described it somewhat to you, and you said, yeah, Mom, I think I've already seen this one. But this was absolutely new experience for me. As you said, it came out in 2018, so I don't know. I guess I just, was that a theatrical release? Or was this something that had played? Oh, it did hit the theaters. Okay.
I think it did. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think it did.
Yeah, that's what I suddenly thought about since it was 2018, but I didn't hear very much commentary about it, and usually I can pick that up from YouTube, because there'll be some type of critique on it. But, yeah, I really, really liked it because, as you know, it's always kind of been a mystery to me how Whitney, who's the very, very top, and it seems like in many ways that she was befell by sort of common things that happen to people in the entertainment world. And so I've been very curious about what happened. How come there was no support to help her through all of the challenges? But so I thought it was a very good movie, and if I can just say in general, of having an overarching thing that just kind of brought it all out there, her achievements as well as her challenges. And I thought they did a very good job of summarizing without being judgmental, but just kind of telling us the facts. And I also really like the points they made because there were eyewitness accounts from different staff members and band members and that type of thing. So I would give it like an A at least, maybe an A+.
Yes, an A+. Okay.
I know it's at the top of my list of movies or documentaries about Whitney's life that were not just all negative, and putting so much emphasis on the failures rather than giving an even display of her greatness as well as the challenges she had to deal with.
I just wanted to let our audience know that this particular movie, it was released again in 2018, and it was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Music Film.
Oh, very good.
NAACP
I'm sorry.
Grammy Award for Best Music Film.
Excellent.
And also NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Documentary Film.
Oh, okay.
And also, it was executive produced by her sister-in-law. One of the executive producers was her sister, Whitney Houston's sister-in-law, Pat Houston. And there's also director's notes is what we call it in film. And so if you go on YouTube and you type in Kevin MacDonald, director of Whitney, and listen to his notes or his take on how he put the film together, and also who he had to defer to or ask for the permission, which was actually the Houston estate that is managed by Pat Houston and Whitney Houston's two brothers, Gary and Michael, and of course Sissy Houston. So let me see. Oh, that was a little.
Well, I'm glad you
told
me that information. I'm for sure gonna go look that up. As a follow up to watching the film.
Okay, if you go into IMDb, a lot of people don't know what that means or stands for, but it's the Internet Movie Database.
What are the initials?
M as in Mary. Okay. IMB as in boy and D as in David. IMBD. That stands for Internet Movie Database. So if you go in there, you can find every single movie star in the world is sitting in the IMBD database, and they give you a synopsis or more of the statistical facts about the films themselves or movies, okay? So that's where I found that information, okay, about the nominations. Be under Kevin MacDonald, or you just do it under the film Whitney. Okay, they also have it in Wikipedia and IMDb. Those are two places that you can find out.
I've seen those initials like thousands of times. When I'm watching a movie, that I'm a huge movie fan. And I've never known what that stood for because when they list movies, particularly on Prime or Netflix, those initials always show up somewhere, beneath the title, and then it'll kind of give you a brief summary of what the movie's about. And I've never known that. Thank you for that information. I've never even been curious about it, as a matter of fact. That is a very good resource for us movie lovers,
Yes. Okay, so I'm trying to think. On some parts of the movie, I enjoyed it. I'll start there. I enjoyed the movie. There was not too much in it that I didn't already know about Whitney Houston, because towards the last part of her life, she spoke about it on Oprah. a lot of what we saw in the film, with the exception of the abuse. But that I believe they mentioned very quickly. But I'm not even going to touch on that. Majority of the information that was, I guess they call it archival footage, I knew most of it.
That was all new to me, particularly her early childhood years. I'd never seen many of those pictures and was surprised to see. Well, she was just an adorable, little girl, and quite fetching, I thought. And what I really liked about it, though, was I've always wondered about her hair, and you could see there it was in her little pigtails, and there was a particularly adorable picture of her with her brothers. And oh my goodness, that was she. I think it was Whitney was first, then Michael, and then her oldest brother. What's his name? I've forgotten it already.
Gary,
of course, Gary. And there they were, probably in the age range of 10 to 12, 8 to 10, and 5 to 7 or something. They were just adorable, and that just helped to make you understand how they actually grew up together. But there were years separating them. But they just
there's a lot.
Pictures always show you at your best time. Yeah, at your best time. But those were just adorable. Her childhood pictures.
Yeah, they were very, very cute. And she turned out to be this magnificently beautiful woman. So I love it all, and I loved. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I can't remember much of the. Did they touch on her modeling career? Because
they absolutely did. Yes,
they did, right? Okay.
From the teen magazines, and also I think she was a cover girl model. But at any rate, they showed several pictures and of her in different poses. It seems to me that when we see celebrities in their earlier years, they tend to show us like 5 pictures, and that's it. But this time they had several of the pictures where she was during her modeling career, her modeling days, when she was a teenager, and she did. It really gave you an overview, and you could just see how she was quite outstanding and different looking, but very American, all American looking, all American girl look for the magazine that she had. I just thought she personified that. And you could see why they were so anxious to sign her and use her.
Yes. And, as I said about Johnny Depp, she doesn't have a bad side. So what I mean by that is, she just did any pose, any expression. It's just the camera caught her, and it was adorable. I don't know how she was magnificent, and just her gestural posture and poses were absolutely amazing. And some people, the camera doesn't.
Obviously,
she did, but she glowed. I've seen a lot of
what she brought.
What she brings.
Right.
Yes. She was I felt just electrifying. I mean, everything about her from head to toe, and then out that tiny, beautiful physique is this massive voice, and all I really want to hear most of the time, all I want to hear in these documentaries is her voice. As much as I love looking at her because she was just breathtakingly beautiful, just the vocal ability that she had and what her mother taught her. And I love her mother sitting in their church where they also had her funeral service. But her mother was sitting, I think, in the choir area. And she was asked a question, and she just blew out that said her daughter is beautiful. And this is so true. And then the way, I think she was 9, 12, but very young. There is this footage of her. I don't know if they showed it in the film, unfortunately, because, like I said, unfortunately, I didn't take too many notes here. But I would say this, that she always had that vocal ability. And her mother said she showed her.
One of the good things about the movie, too, is that it had the clips of her singing as a youngster. So that you're right. You know, you had told me, you know, as a matter of fact, you're the one who even introduced me to Whitney Houston. You know, I was not aware of her until you told me about her all those years ago, and then I became a fan because, you know, not to overly brag, but I will brag as your mother. You have a beautiful singing voice yourself, and you
thank you so much.
One of her songs in the I guess it was junior high school. Was it junior high school talent show? You were singing. Which song of hers? How Will I Know?
Yes, I sang How Will I Know.
That's right. That's right. And I said, oh, that song is so cute. You said, oh, Mom, that's Whitney Houston. And I said, oh, really? You know, not knowing who you were talking about. And then I guess we saw her somewhere on TV, or maybe you just brought something, a magazine or something, maybe in People magazine or something from those days, and you showed it to me. And then I heard her, but I had no idea that she was singing naturally. I thought she was one of those studio voices because, you know, it was just so powerful and so perfect that I thought they had just, you know, spliced together all these different sounds and gave her that sound. It wasn't until a few months or maybe even a year later that I got to see her live on one of the variety musical shows where she was singing, and I think it was The Greatest Love of All. But and I realized,
Greatest Love of
that's
All.
her singing.
Yes,
the greatest.
That's her singing. And what happened is, let me think with Whitney. Oh, that was so fun. That was at Wilson Junior High or Wilson Middle School in Pasadena.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Wilson Middle School, and they changed it to Wilson Intermediate.
Oh, is that right?
I think the year I came in.
Is that?
Okay.
Is
Absolutely.
it still there?
Yeah, it's still there, fully functioning.
Great.
Yes, and it's also the school. When it named some other folks that went to it who were in the movie business, it was Elizabeth Taylor went to Wilson.
Is that right?
Yes, and so did Eddie Van Halen, and or the rock star Eddie Van Halen.
I didn't hear what you said. Eddie who?
Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, right. All right. Okay.
The rock star.
Didn't he just pass away recently?
He may have.
Did he just
I
pass
think
away recently?
He may have. But it's well known for having celebrity kids that went to Wilson. So moving on, but I did want to say this. The vocal coach I had, I'm going to just tell this really quick story because we only have 30 minutes and we're at 18 of the 30. But there was a wonderful teacher. Her name was Miss Bustian. And she said, I heard you could sing. Yeah. And she said, I heard you can sing. And she heard it actually from another teacher who heard me at a talent show. So what ends up happening is they give me this. She gives me a vocal coach. And, you know, I've been looking for him for years. I meant to tell you this. I may have a complete show about this. But when he was training me, he would say, that's the way Whitney sings it. When I was practicing with me, you sound just like the radio. He said, I need you to sing it. I need you to sing it the way you're going to sing it, basically in an original way. Right. So he said, not the way you hear it on the radio. So I thought I was so cute. How will I know if he really loves me? You know, so I'm just like jamming and all that. And he schooled me in such a magnificent way. So all I will say is, no, I did not become a singer. But I will say that I did see him on Luther Vandross's bio. My vocal coach is right there.
Is that
And
right?
yeah. So I really want to show him. I'll see if I can find him and see if I can get him on this podcast, because he's still thriving and he's done a lot of backup vocals. But he told me that if Whitney or Nita could hear my voice, they would be so excited. And so that gave me a lot of confidence, But
that's wonderful.
those women were something
very
else.
much like her. I recall.
Like who? Like Whitney? Or
when
Anita?
You saying, well, I know. Yeah.
That's sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I tried today. It didn't work out. Did a little karaoke. So back to the vocalist, Miss Whitney. All I wanted to say is her mother, I love the comment she made about how she trained Whitney's voice. And she would say she had her, she pointed that she had her sing when she trained her from her diaphragm, from her heart, and from her head. That was what the three parts she used.
Yeah, she sure she mentioned that in the movie.
Right? Yes, and I love that because that's exactly what we were hearing in her vocal ability. It was the emotion, the power of her voice, and also the technicals. She had her own way of interpreting each song. So she was absolutely exceptional. And I just don't think there was anyone. It was not Celine Dion. Sorry, Celine. I don't think she was comparative. Mariah Carey, no. So sorry. And she was really all by herself as a vocalist in the industry. So I think that's why she was attacked, sadly, by media. And they really appreciated her in the very beginning, but then it kind of all went downhill once she married
that was one of
her husband.
That was one of the good things about the movie that I liked so much. One of them is that they almost in chronological, or I would say nearly in chronological order, they showed her from a childhood and her rise. And you're correct. In her earliest days, the audiences and fans were very much for her, and people were very enthusiastic about her musical abilities, and they had no trouble giving her full credit for what a magnificent voice range she has. And then her style, the fact that she could bring so much emotion and feeling and interpret a song in her own way. And she had a wide following she had a wide and large
worldwide
following of people from all kinds of backgrounds. It wasn't just pigeonholed into one, singing genre or category. Overall, exceptional singer. And she got the awards, and the trophies and the statues and the gold records to prove it. Some of her records are still standing. She still holds the title. And one of the other things I wanted to recommend before we run out of time about the movie that I thought was so good is that on a personal level, her family, her brothers, and those who worked closely with her, in her career, they were very, particularly her brothers, particularly Michael. He was very honest and truthful about not only how he was supporting his sister, but also in ways that he failed to support her. And I really thought much, much higher of him because he was so honest about identifying how they had failed Whitney during her time of greatest need. I thought that took some courage to do that because most of us, myself included, when things we don't perform, at our best levels, sometimes we just don't want to be open and honest about that and just say where we have, maybe let the ball drop. But he was very honest, and Gary was open about his disappointments in life and how because of that, many times they overlooked areas where they could have helped their sister. So I give them some credit for being so open and honest in this presentation. And I can't recall right now if they had any live interviews of Bobby, her ex-husband.
He was in it.
I think they talked about him, but I'm not sure they had. Do you recall, Camille?
Yes, he was in the. He had a brief. He was in the movie.
Oh, he was actually interviewed in the movie.
Yes,
okay.
He was in the movie. He was interviewed.
I saw the movie 3 days ago, so that tells you something about my
memory. Yes. So right now I want to do, because we just have a few minutes left, so I would like to do a quote from Whitney. There were times when I would look up to God and I go, why is this happening to me? And then these dreams. I'd have these dreams about being on a bridge and the bridge going back and forth and swaying. There's a big storm coming. I'm always running from this giant. I'm always running from this big man. I know I can make it. I know I can make it. I know I can make it. My mother always says, oh, that's nothing but the devil. He's just trying to get you. He just wants your soul. And in a sense, it's true. There's been several times the devil has tried to get me, but he never gets me. And it's funny. When I wake up, I'm always exhausted from running. So this was one of the quotes that she had left behind. And then her brother, Gary Houston, very quickly said we had a good, tight-knit family. But there were always a lot of secrets. But there were always a lot of secrets in our lives. When you don't resolve things, when you don't deal with things, they never go away. They never go away. So they were dealing with a lot internally. But I want to say real quick that that I just love Whitney and her voice and what she brought to us, and it was just wonderful to hear her, and I still listen to her daily. I just really loved her. I don't know her, but we have enough footage and documentaries to get to know her enough, But what we do know is she did have the most fabulous voice you've ever heard, one of the most fabulous voices. So, did you want to say anything else, Mom? Because I think we're going to be at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, audience.
Do you have enough time? Let me just say thank
90
you very
seconds.
much for having me on.
Thank you for being on the show.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a pure delight. You did a great job. I'm speaking again as your mother.
Much.
But I look forward to any time you want to have me as a guest or co-host. You just let me know, and it'd be my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much. You were wonderful. I appreciate you so. I have 60 seconds left. And so, lastly, what kind of coffee do you like?
Oh, my favorite is, I guess it's just kind of the old standards, Maxwell House. I know you shouldn't say those kinds of things, but I just like plain old coffee with a little cream and a little artificial sugar. And I also love any of those Starbucks type of coffees that you can purchase. Those are always delicious because they are freshly brewed. I guess if I had my favorites, I'd get a percolator coffee pot where it would perk in the morning. You would hear it.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love Starbucks, correct, straight. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.